wanna scream, but I wanna go to bed. I wanna cry.
Fishbowl is a song that ended up really framing a lot of the imagery and the themes for the entire album, which is really cool. You know, just the idea of like a fishbowl, feeling trapped, really represents, I think, the year that all of us had physically, being trapped at home and, you know, kind of being stuck and secluded in our own space. But then also me more individually, physically feeling trapped in my body, you know, in terms of anxiety and stuff. I went through a period that was extremely difficult and actually like very terrifying, if I put it bluntly. It was like extremely scary. I was going through this, you know, thing called panic disorder, where you just kind of go through like panic attacks out of nowhere. And I was experiencing this thing that I now know is called derealization, where your brain almost literally like kind of detaches from your body and you like separate. So you feel like you don't belong in your body. You feel like you're dreaming at all times. Like I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. I couldn't look at my hands. People talking would scare me. Like it's like I didn't even recognize like my family. It was very terrifying. And I thought that I was gonna be going through that forever. I thought that I'd opened a portal that I would never be able to get out of. And it was genuinely an extremely terrifying time in my life. And it wasn't until I got the proper help that I needed that I, you know, started to get better. But there was a period where I felt like I was literally trapped in a fishbowl and trapped in my own body. And so this song is a way of expressing that. And it's really fun sounding and sort of like, you know, dreamy and cool. And there's definitely that whole element to it. But lyrically, it's actually very serious. And it talks a lot about my anxiety. And I think people who also, you know, share those same feelings with anxiety, and anyone who's been through any sort of mental health struggle or rough patch, they can definitely relate to that feeling of like kind of being trapped and feeling stuck. You know, there are times where it feels like that. And I think, you know, now I am way on the other side of it, so I can attest to the fact that you aren't trapped, but it definitely feels like that sometimes. So this song is just a way of, you know, expressing that sentiment at the time.
All right, so let's see what the box has for track number 6. This track is called Fishbowl, so it would only make sense to include a fishbowl. And no real fish were harmed in the making of this prop, so we got some goldfish snacks that are definitely not edible anymore floating in there. So I wrote this song as a sort of symbol for feeling trapped, whether it's in your life or in your own body. I was having tons of anxiety, and I feel like, you know, for anyone who understands the physical symptoms of anxiety, you know that it can often feel like you're trapped in your own body and in your own mind. And, you know, you can't ever escape yourself. You know, the person that you are is the person you're stuck with until you're no longer on earth. And that can feel very daunting when you're going through hard times, because you're like, I just want to like unzip myself and get out of here, but you can't. You know, you have to deal with it and you have to go through things in order to get out of them, you know? So that's kind of what I was feeling. I was going through just a time where I felt like my mind wasn't my own, my body wasn't my own. I felt so out of place within myself, and that took a lot of healing, a lot of growth, a lot of therapy, medication, all kinds of stuff to get me out of that. But I am okay now, so I'm no longer in this fishbowl. I think, you know, oftentimes when you feel like you're in a fishbowl, you forget that, you know, there's no lid on there. You can get out at any time. I just made that up right now. Look how smart I am. Wow, I'm a writer. But also, I think it can also be a symbol for kind of feeling secluded, like we all did in the last year. We all definitely felt like we were trapped in our own little fishbowls at home, and stuck physically as well as mentally. So it's kind of a little double entendre, but I'll put this back in because it's heavy. But let's go to the next track, which is track number 7. What does the box have for us? Let's find out.